So we got married there, and then started life in away from family. We were, I moved all my stuff into the apartment, and we started our married life in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And about 5 or 6 months in, 6 months in? 6 months into our marriage, and totally missing each other, miscommunicating,
not understanding what was being said
or what was meant by what was said. We started realizing that when I said A, she didn't hear A. If I said B, my B wasn't the same as her B. My C wasn't the same as her C. In fact, our whole alphabet wasn't nowhere near the same. And we began to realize that this is way beyond what we thought it was going to be. Because if you can't even communicate, you don't stand a chance. And communication was more than just words. It was nonverbal. In fact, communication is more nonverbal than it is verbal. It was the way you said it. Not just what you said, but the way you said it. And what does that mean? Y'all know what I'm talking about. What does it mean? What was that little extra rolling of the eyes? So it ain't just what's said, it's how it's said. What's that? See, you don't stop it all the time and address it that way, but in your mind you be thinking, what does that mean? You rolled your eyes when I said that. Y'all know what I'm talking about. When you say, even if you say I love you, I love you. So you can say the right words, but it's the nonverbal stuff that's like, wait a minute, there was some extra meaning in that. And as we all know, you finally get to the point where you start reaching that dangerous area where you really don't even believe that the other person really means anything that they're saying, because you're reading the nonverbals. And so we realized after having these kind of talks, and we really weren't, especially in those early days, we didn't do a lot of screaming or hollering, but because both of us were very quiet, we were what you would call passive aggressives, and those are those folks who they'll just kind of just shut down on you. And so, they won't fight and they won't yell back, but they'll just kind of just shut down. Carol would have her outbursts sometimes, but
yeah, but there were so many layers to that.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't just my not talking, it was not having the words.
Yeah.
And fear of having an argument, because I saw what arguments led to. For me, arguments led to separation, because that's what I saw. That's how I summed it up in my house. I saw arguments led to parents not being together.
Yeah.
So for me, I hate that sound. It's driving me crazy. For me, arguments led to separation. So I would shut down.
Yeah.
Not because I was trying to be manipulative or anything, but because I was afraid.
And of course, I didn't know that. And I come from a family where we talk to them 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. It made no difference how
They're a bunch of
long it
lawyers.
takes.
There are a bunch of lawyers, and they hammer out their
Yeah,
points.
buddy.
They lay out their points, one on top of the other, and they work it out.
Ain't no stopping.
I had never seen that before.
You don't stop. You don't start no argument and then just stop. What is that?
And they go from room to room, working it out.
So you can see we come from 2 different worlds. I'm like, so you can see I'm starting to try to make my point. She shuts down. Hey, what's up with that? How you gonna start talking and then just stop?
But I would stop because my brain would literally cut it off, because this is going to lead to something I don't want.
Yeah. So as you can tell, we were in trouble right from the start. The honeymoon was over. But we made what we did not know at that time was the most important decision. I mean, we were so young. We look at our children now and realize that we were their age, when we got married. And I'm like, no wonder my parents were scared to death. No wonder Mom gave me that look when she met me. This young boy wants to marry my daughter. But we didn't have no idea how young we were. 21 and 22 years old, getting married. We had no idea how young we were. And but we made the most important decision that a couple could make, and we did not know how important this decision was. We made a pact. Even though we had stood before the judge, and even though we had stood before a pastor, and twice said, I do. Here's a couple that's been married twice. And 6 months later, you start getting that feeling like this ain't gonna work. And so we made a pact, and the agreement and the pact was, you express it better than I do.
The pact was, no matter what was said or how it was said because I love you. It was said because I see something. I see that you're going in a direction. I see that you've made a decision that's going to be harmful to you. That's going to be harmful to us.
And so I choose to believe that I'm going to choose to believe that no matter how it's said,
that you love me.
You love me.
And that you're saying it because you love me.
That you're saying it to me because you love me. We had no idea how important that decision was. Had no idea. And here we are 30 years later. And that little agreement that a couple made in a little apartment in Tulsa, Oklahoma has carried us for 30 years. That I choose to believe that you love me, no matter how you said it. No matter what you said and how you said it. I choose to believe that you had my best interest in mind. We had no idea how important that was.